There's been a lot written and discussed about how COVID-19 exposed the supply chain, how transportation flaws forced the surge in oat milk sales, and how being stuck at home fueled the sales of baker's yeast, flour, and bread making machines. There's a lot more to the story that will perhaps change the way supermarket shelves look in the future. According to IRI data, one of the most important trends to note is that since the beginning of the pandemic, the CPG industry's $933 billion of total U.S. sales in measured channels, large manufacturers collectively lost 1.3 share points. Now, while that might not seem significant by itself, it equates to $12.1 billion in sales. Where did those sales go? Well, they went to smaller manufacturers due to channel shifts, supply constraints, and category shifts. From the 30,000-foot view, the CPG industry actually grew in 2020 by 10.3%, and those smaller manufacturers, identified by IRI with those less than $1 billion in sales every year, captured 1/3 of that growth. The store's own brand captured 18%, leaving approximately 50% of that growth to major brands, those companies with sales of over $5 million. Dr. Davey, president of strategic analytics for IRI, said in a blog post that many large manufacturers were not able to meet the surge in demand caused by the COVID-19 pandemic in the second quarter, when they lost most of that share to smaller players who seized on the opportunity. I don't know about you, but to this day, it's hit or miss in my supermarket if I can still find Bounty or Charmin on the shelves. And then there's shopping online. Nielsen's global e-commerce syndicated study in December told us that 30% of those surveyed shoppers claimed to be new to e-commerce this year, with the other 70% saying they shopped online prior to the onset of the pandemic. 30% plus 70%, you get the picture. Grocery shopping has changed dramatically. People are working from home, not commuting. The entire family is home 24/7. Nielsen calls it new homebody mentality, as they describe their concept for recalibrating and predict that their shoppers will not return to pre-COVID commuting habits. It's been stressful, and it's changed our eating habits, unless they've been watching our members on social media and in videos. So what categories? Where the winners? Who the losers? Well, Catalina compared retail sales for the first 3 weeks in 2021 to the last half of December 2020, and found that sales of alcoholic beverages actually declined 40% at grocery and drugstores, most likely due to dry January, where an estimated 1/3 of American adults pledged to give up drinking for the month. Some, like me, might also say it's due to the change of administrations. Looking at the entire pandemic period, Takeoff Technologies found that categories that were unchanged during the pandemic were milks, soft drinks, avocados, potatoes, cookies, crackers, and salty snacks. The categories that had spikes during the pandemic but returned to normal level as people settled in were canned vegetables, toilet paper, paper towels, dry beans, cleaning products, bottled water, canned tomatoes, and frozen vegetables. And the most important categories to watch are those that spiked and continue to see increased demand. Those are frozen pizza, pasta sauce, fresh bread, prepared foods like mac and cheese, canned soup, and canned vegetables. Not quite the categories that I wish were seeing on the rise.